The elimination game of the SWAC softball tournament brought us the ladies of Jackson State and the ladies of Alabama State for a chance to advance to the championship game. Both Jackson State and Alabama State bounced back from early losses in the tournament to come through and end up with the opportunity to make it to the championship game against Prairie View. Jada Gardner makes a good hit right here, ends up at first base. We had our first pitcher infraction right here, and ironically, it was another pitcher that got hit. Alabama State's Bailey Greenlee, she shook it off. After that, Jackson State secured the final out. They're headed to the plate. Mari Stevens drives through one, and she ends up at first base. Coach Montgomery is probably satisfied with the hit, but not this Gulf Coast heat. Jackson State's Isis Taylor, she pops one in the air, but Alex Massey, she comes over and does her duty, gets another out for the Lady Hornets. Right here, Rachel Barker gets caught looking for the final out. Alabama State's Morgan Gaither comes to the plate. First swing, first hit, she gets a single. First baseman Alex Massey, she comes up with another hit, she gets a single. Right here, Jackson State comes up with a nice defensive play, they get the out at first. Gardner creeps into third base. Bailey Greenlee gets caught at first base, but she brings home Gardner. That's another run for the Alabama State ladies. Jackson State ended up back at the plate, but Alabama State's defense didn't budge, so Alabama State came back to the plate. Jackson State shows some good defense again right here at first base. Literally, they had back-to-back plays at first base. Good job. But now, Ms. Massey comes up and she hits a nice ball. This time, we have an error at first base. She rounds hers out and she ends up at second base. Alabama State led 8-4, but Jackson State did not give up. You know, they believe. So right here, we had a nice hit, ends up with a double after the error in the outfield. Nonetheless, she needed a timeout. I think she hurt her wrist as she slid into second. Right here, Jackson State, Zoe Keys drives in a run. She thinks about rounding it out to second, but she'll stick with the single. Jackson State is still fighting. The game fields were remotely close to the local airport, so every now and then, a big blue bird will fly through. But right here, Jackson State thought they were going to catch it. Nonetheless, the Alabama State player caught it for the final out. Greenlee tries her luck with a bunt. It doesn't work. Jackson State collects the out at first. And finally, Alexis Arredondo gets the last out at first, bringing them back to the plate. At the end, Alabama State proved to be just too much for the Lady Tigers. Your final here, Alabama State 8, Jackson State 5. Alabama State will advance and go to the championship game where they'll play Prairie View.